Good evening, everyone. I am Rufus Bill, and welcome to another edition of Talking To. And this is a weekly show that deals with a lot of human interest stories. And listen, we have a great show that is for you today now. And we're so glad that you joined us. It's a great day to be in the city of Detroit, and we're so glad that we are here to experience this on this day, a day that we've never seen before, Sunday, February 9th, 2025, 7:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what do you think about the weather today or all week? You know, we were threatened with the ice storm. Fortunately, we missed that. Well, we got a little bit of it, just a slight bit, but it was enough to scare the school systems. So all of the teachers and the faculty and administration had, I believe it was Thursday, off, and I'm glad about it. It was a kind of a cloudy day today, and if you're like most people, when you don't see the sun, it puts you in a different kind of mood, and it was that kind of mood today for a lot of people. Now, for me, it was a great day for me because, I'm really glad that I'm not affected by that often. Sometimes it might catch me and, it might damper my mood or alter my mood. But today it was all right. I was just more concerned with getting in the slush and getting the car splash, and I don't know what I was thinking about earlier today by not putting on snow boots. I didn't wear them, and I had on shoes, and then when I looked down, I had those salt stains on my shoes. So I guess I'll have to take care of that sometime today or tomorrow. Maybe. It's Super Bowl Sunday 2025. So you may view this after the Super Bowl, or if you're like us, you're gonna view us right now. Whatever the case, we just welcome you, and we're glad that you're here with us. Our chat line is open. You can always go into the chat, put up on your comments. We'd like to say hello to Sharon Denise Beard Smith, Mrs. Smith, one of my former teacher. Well, not former, because she's still teaching me and still working with me to be on point. And I am on point. One of another faithful listener, Pamela Johnson. Hello. I saw Pamela today on social media, dialed up, all in her red, looking good. Also saying hello to Alice Bronner. Also like to say hello to all of the members, to the pastor and the members of Burns Avenue Seventh-day Adventist Church. It's always nice to see members of the church chiming in. So you can always just go right on in, put in your comments, whatever you may want to say, and you can interact within the show. Today we have a great show for you. A great show. We're going to talk about ganja? Marijuana? Yes. Weed, blunts, cognac, liquor, the devil's juice, as they used to say in Church of God in Christ, or I shouldn't just point Church of God in Christ. Saved members, saved church people would say that, the devil's juice. Also, we're going to hopefully get in contact with Justin Hearn, who is our resident sports enthusiast, and he's right now geared at the television as we're ending the first quarter in the Super Bowl. He's going to give us an update, hopefully, if we can tear him away. There's something else we're going to talk about. It was a host of things. Give some Black history trivia, and public housing, the new executive order from Donald Trump and public housing. Listen, it's going to be a field-packed show However, we cannot go any further unless we introduce, as Justin says, the fragrance of talking to the one and the only Joanne Tosin Fuller. Good evening, Joanne. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well.
That's
How is your
wonderful.
day?
It was good. It was good. I was listening. Yeah, that little cloudiness and the snow all day kind of, and then I was mad. So I got to wash my car.
Oh,
Right.
you did.
I said, ooh, ooh.
Oh my
But
God.
you know what? As my dad used to say, okay, if it's if he would wash his car, he was religious about washing his car
Okay.
Every Friday.
Uh-huh.
And so it was like, well, it's just raining on a clean car. Well,
How about that?
it's just snowing on a clean car. But I'm like, nah, man,
You
oh
could have
man,
saved that time.
their money.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to mention the cash part, especially that part.
Especially when you go through the one, that they do the vacuuming and the inside.
Oh yes,
It
you
ain't.
pay.
It's not a $3 car wash. Mm-hmm.
That's part of
Well,
history.
but that's
Three
okay.
the $3 car wash, and I went yesterday to go get a car wash, and it was it was cloudy, and it started snowing yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and so I said, "Oh, perfect time to get it because I know no one is going to be trying to get a car wash," and it was 9 cars in line, and I
Wow.
was really shocked. I said, "Man, we all had the same idea." But nonetheless, I didn't get it, and I was going to go this morning and get one, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't do it then. And so when I came out of church, somebody told me, they said, "Mr. Bill, the entire driver's side of your car has been splashed with the slush.
See,
Cars
see,
driving by." I said, "Well, I guess it all worked out in my
yes,
favor,
yes, it did.
nonetheless."
Yes, it did.
Nonetheless, yes, it did.
Mm-hmm.
I now, Joanne,
Yes, sir.
it's a dangerous time of year. Let me tell
Why?
you why.
Why? Why? Why?
Here it is. Can you see it?
Oh, oh,
Girl Scout cookie time.
oh. See, and I'm trying to be between you and Maestro G, who sent
Yes.
pictures of cookies this morning too.
Did
I'm
he?
like, man, y'all better leave me alone because I'm trying to do something over here, and cookies are not gonna help.
I was trying to do something too. So I have these,
Why
and
you?
I bought these lemon
Oh,
cookies.
see, I love lemon. I
I
love
love
lemon.
lemon.
Oh, well then I'm gonna tell you
What?
what you said this morning. The Petridge Farm.
Yes.
Petridge Farm has a new lemon white chocolate Milano cookie, and they have a cookie called Ojai. And it's
Yes.
spelled Ojai, lemon sugar cookie. So that's what he
Ooh.
said this morning. I'm
No,
like,
he didn't.
yes, he did. Look,
Shame on you, Maestro G. I
is.
see
You're
it.
supposed
Oh,
to be trying to help folks, but you sending this stuff out, knowing I love
wait,
lemon. I know I'm not the only one, but knowing I love lemon. Oh
wait,
man.
Joanne. He see like he had that magnified just easier. Shame, shame, shame.
Shame. Why would you do that to me?
I know. But so look, so my piano student Joy, I think she's
Uh-huh.
like 8 or 9 years old, and so
Hmm.
I signed up for them and put my order in, and I really forgot all about it. And she brought them to me today, and I said, "Oh no, I had just really committed myself to, getting on track again." Now, needless to say, there,
Enemy work.
there must be like one, two, 6 cookies left in the
Uh-uh.
lemons, and then
Uh-uh.
the thin mints. There's only 1 pack left.
Oh no, Rufus,
I
if
really like
you put
those.
those in the freezer.
Oh, they are perfect.
Ooh, ooh,
Thank you
ooh,
for reminding me.
ooh, 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 ooh,
They
ooh.
are so good cold, and that
Yes.
little crunch and pop that they get. Wow, stop it! I'm gonna put run over there to the freezer and put these in. And then I got another kind, peanut butter. I like peanut butter.
Okay.
So I haven't even started with that. Maybe I'll do that after the show.
Ooh.
I see, because they need to be gone at least by tomorrow.
See.
And I'm the man for the job.
Ooh, all right now.
That I am.
Uh-uh.
I am proud to say today that the choir, my choir, the church's choir, I always say my choir, they did exceptionally well.
Awesome. Awesome.
I didn't get one.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
It did. I didn't have to get one dirty look, roll my eyes, get ball up my fist.
You didn't have to do that sign like, look, watch me. You better watch me.
Now that other choir, they're good too.
Mm-hmm.
I should have said they're good too. But the other choir, you know, they'll tell me in a minute, you know, people can see you balling your fist up at us. So y'all better get with the program. The time is 7:16 a.m. Standard Eastern Time. Is Talking to with Joanne Tosa Fuller, Rufus Bill, and Justin Hearn is glued to that television today, right about now. So I do have a score, or the latest score that I saw was that I can't find it now, but I do know that there is probably have started the first quarter. Oh, here it is, right here. That the Chiefs and the Eagles 0-7. Who's Chiefs with 0, Eagles with 7. Who's Ricky rooting for?
I have no idea. They at the church.
Oh, they having a Super Bowl party at the church.
Oh yes.
Now see, I would just love to be there just for the food.
I thank you. They in there. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I went to the store.
Kind of games and stuff. Yeah.
I went to the store today, and so the guy that works there, he was like, he said it's the Chiefs all the way. He was passionate about it, and he was like, you going with the Chiefs? I said, I'm going with home. Where I'm trying to get to right now.
I'm telling you.
It's amazing how how football, basketball, I would say those are the top two, then hockey, baseball. But those first two, it brings the beast out of everyone who really enjoys that game. And so I hope your team wins, if who's ever watching, and that you may make a little pocket change off the win as well. So listen,
the numbers guy.
Remember
you could not gamble or bet on sporting events.
Yes.
So you'd have the numbers guy under the table. You call out. No, it's just wide open. I mean, why don't you just get on your phone and just
boo.
How time has changed.
Yes, they have.
How time.
Yeah, I mean, drastically changed. Well, listen, let's go and do Black History Trivia first. Okay. And then we're going to get into the other meat of our show. Okay. So, would you like to go first?
You want me to go first? I sure will.
You can go first.
So, we all know this woman.
Okay.
So a lot of us don't know, I think, this about this woman, or at least we don't hear about it. But she was born, they don't know her exact date, but she was born in 1820s.
Wow.
She was born as Araminta Ross. And her nickname as a child, and up until she was a little adult, was Minty. M-I-N-T-Y, Minty.
Okay.
Take one guess of who you think that might be.
1820s. Nickname Minty. Minty. I'm thinking of Who could that be?
Who could that be? And
Can I get
when
another hint?
um well, you get it. You okay, she was born in Dorchester County, Maryland.
Maryland. Oh,
Maryland. Mm-hmm.
who's from
And
Maryland?
hmm. Okay, so this one you're gonna get it. She
Okay.
was the person who started the Underground Railroad.
Get out of here. Harriet Tubman?
Yes. Yes.
What is her name?
Her birth name is Araminta Ross. That's her birth name.
That is so
And she
Hollywoodish.
Hollywoodish. Yes.
You know,
Araminta Ross. And she married John Tubman, so that became her last name. And her nickname all through her childhood and part of her adulthood until she actually ran away as a runaway slave and was Minty. So people knew her as Minty. And
I wonder,
so, yep.
I wonder why did she change to Harriet? Maybe easier to say.
Harriet is actually her mother's name.
Ah,
But look, who even back in those days, it's probably like, why would you name your child?
right. What is your name?
Araminta.
What is it? How, you know, they couldn't say spell it.
Yeah, you couldn't say spell it because
Right.
yeah. So yeah, that was her name. And when she became an adult and she ran away, that's when she took on her mother's name, Harriet. Her mother's first name was Harriet.
Well, I know her mother probably got a lot of flack. Harriet, now what were you thinking?
Araminta.
you,
But they
you
called
know,
her
people,
Minty.
people will say that in a minute. What were
Yep.
you thinking when you named your child that? That is so interesting.
Isn't that interesting? Araminta
Yes.
Ross. And then, of course, we know her other nickname was Moses. They called her
Moses.
Black Moses. Yeah.
I think her story is just so fascinating, you know, being able to start that and then the love that she had for her people to get them freed.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you went against her, she'd shoot you.
And then
Now,
that's the problem.
she
Hey.
said, you're not going all the way. You're sure not.
And she had they as I was reading up on her, she actually had visions and dreams.
Really?
Yeah, she actually had visions and dreams and believed that God, and I would believe that too, but believe that God was leading her and directing her.
I would say that as well.
I would say the same thing. I would truly believe that. Because how do you go back and forth so many times and
I
not
was-
get caught and bring people? You know, first it was her family. First it was her husband and children and all of that. And then, you know, as each time she went back, she just brought more people. So, I mean, to take those trips, to take that journey and never that had to be God. That had to be God.
It had to be because if I just got my family, I
I'm
don't
straight.
know, Joanne. I'm fine.
I'll be like, peace.
Peace.
But you know, but that was her mission. That was her mission in life. I'm sure God, that had to be nobody but
It had to
God
be
given. Yeah.
Now, you know what I think is a different aspect? I hear those guys over there. I think a different aspect is her journey back to the South. I wonder, because I've never read anything about how did she go back the same way? Did she go a different way? But just going back into the lion's den.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, you know, what was she?
Isn't that something?
How she was feeling? Because I'm sure at that point she's traveling by herself. Because I know she didn't have no help with nobody she delivered. Y'all, anybody want to go back with me?
Thank you very much.
Harriet.
I'm out.
We good.
Yeah.
So
And then when she, you know, because she brought them up north to Philadelphia and all of that, and then they had this law. They made this law where these slave catchers could come up north and get the people and take these slaves back. So that's when she started taking them. Then after that, over to Canada, because Canada would not allow them, the slave catchers, to come over there. And
Now, you
so
know,
just that life.
that's some nerve. Now you
Mhm.
already have 100 slaves, 17 leave, and you go back and try to get them.
Yeah, crazy. But
That's
it's a
unreal.
mind, it's about control, it's a
It
mind game.
is.
And that was true. I believe slavery was truly a mind game,
Hmm.
because they tried to enslave when they came here and tried to and took over. They
Yeah,
tried to enslave the Indians, but they couldn't because the Indians knew the land.
they knew the land.
They could not control the
They
Indians.
couldn't, right? They were
So
like, what?
you went over to Africa and the places you went to bring our people here. We didn't
Hmm.
know the land.
Didn't know
So
the
that
land.
mind game, you scared, you don't
Yes,
know this is a new place, a new country, you don't know the land. So that was that mind game, because there were more of us than it was of them.
of them.
So the upheaval that we could have taken over. We really could have.
We really
But
could have.
because of that mind game, because they got in our head that
Hmm.
we were nothing, we were nobody, we weren't strong enough. And I'm sure we know that there were people who fought. We know that.
Yes.
But to see how they treated them, how they killed them and hung them and did it in
Ooh,
front of people to make you scared, which
make you
is
scared.
on that mind.
A mental
So
manipulation.
oh my goodness. But
Unbelievable.
today is a new day.
You know the oh look, here's Pam. Pam, your buddy's not here here today. Now, maybe if he knew you were on,
He might.
he would get on just to razz you.
Y'all tell me this night. Hello, Miss Pam.
Thanks for watching, Pam. But the church that's over there on Forest and Warren, they have a. Have you ever gone to the tour? They have a Black History tour
Hmm.
there,
Hmm.
and Harriet Tubman is one of the people on the tour, and it's so amazing how that they have recreated the lamps. That's how she knew that she could stop at certain
Hmm.
houses because they would have the lamps burning
Right.
and the
And
various signals, the
hmm
lanterns. The thank
yep.
you, the lanterns, and the
Hmm.
different signals that she had designed to know this was a safe place.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
I have one of those lamps.
Oh, do you really?
I do. I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, how interesting.
Well, the long jockeys, they call them the long jockeys.
Okay.
A lot of black folks think it's a negative thing, and it really wasn't,
And
because
it wasn't.
it was not. Those were the lanterns. So the people who had the long jockeys, and usually their hand was pointed in the direction they were telling
To
you to go.
go. That's
So,
right.
yeah, and so if it was lit, it was okay for you to come. If they were a safe house, if it was lit, it was okay for you to come. If it was not lit, then you knew to keep going,
To
keep
keep
moving.
going.
And then it would point to which way you should be going. So a lot of people and even I think some white folks thought that that was a negative connotation to
I'm
have these
sure.
long jockeys, but they really were not. They really are one of the things. I did the research on that, and I told the story to the kids at church
Did
um,
you?
about that. Yeah, and
Interesting.
but I have one of those. Hmm.
Wow. Is yours outside?
No, it's not outside. No.
Okay. All right. How
Mm-mm.
interesting. That was another trivia right there. So I have
Hmm.
another one, and this is interesting. In 1944, this woman with the most fascinating voice became the first Black female cable car conductor in San Francisco.
What? 1944.
1944.
Wow.
And Maya Angelou.
What?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Could you imagine that? First of all, being the first Black conductor, and then people
Wow.
getting on the car and she's saying, Good afternoon.
Can you hear that voice?
That
That is
voice.
rich. That, oh my goodness.
You know,
Wow.
I interviewed her once,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked her what did she really want to be, as you know, she was growing up, and after she had experienced everything she did, and she told me, she said she always wanted to be an attorney, and not so much because of the law, but because the attorneys, she could afford a crocodile purse and crocodile shoes. And I
Oh,
guess at that time that might have been very popular.
wow.
Well, it's popular now, but you know, at that time, so you're
Right.
probably thinking like maybe the late 40s, early
Oh
50s.
yeah.
Because she always wanted to walk around with no, not the purse, the briefcase and
Okay.
shoes.
Oh wow.
Isn't that
That's
something?
awesome. That is. Wow.
Yes. Do you have another one?
I do. I
Okay.
do. I do. I do.
And if you're
So,
just tuning in, is talking to Joanne Tosin Fuller, Rufus Bill. Justin is on his sports detail, and we're just doing some Black History trivia. Okay, Joanne.
we have our HBCUs,
Yes.
historically black colleges and universities. So it's called Cheney University of Pennsylvania was the first HBCU established in 1837.
Really?
We hardly ever hear, and I was trying to find out if it's still in existence. And they say it is, but I can't find it. I can't find it. But it's Cheney, Cheyney University of Pennsylvania. That was the first in 1837, the first HBCU that was established.
1837.
37. Mm-hmm.
Man,
Isn't that crazy? I
that's
mean,
crazy.
that's awesome.
That is. It really is.
That is so
Wow.
awesome. And we know why they were established because nobody else would educate us.
Isn't
They
that
didn't,
something?
because they didn't want to educate us.
They didn't
They
want to
wanted to
educate
keep us,
us.
non-reading, non-writing,
Mhm.
non.
Right. In caps.
In caps. Yes.
Now, can you the instructors there? They had to be God sent, and here's why. Most of the people, especially in that a year, were illiterate,
Yes.
and how they had to, and they may have known be able to read some things because they did get into college, but their knowledge of words or pronunciation probably lacked, and how they had to take the time and to teach them, and then for them to go into various professions like nursing, business, all of those various careers in 1800.
1800. And that's something. And what's sad is that they only thought you could be a nurse or a secretary
Mm-hmm.
or, so when you tried to do other things,
You couldn't.
you couldn't. You couldn't. So yeah. So look, now I found it because I stopped looking for it.
Oh, of
But
course.
yes. But yep, they're still in existence.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yep.
that's interesting that we don't hear a lot about
You don't.
that school.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and
Wow.
it's in Cheney, Pennsylvania. Cheney University in Cheney, Pennsylvania. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Cheyney.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. That would be an excellent place to put on the Black College tour, because we
Yeah.
know a lot about some of the other more popular
Mm-hmm.
ones. But to say that you would attended Cheney the very first, that's saying something.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, now I was very shocked to see this one. Claudette Calvin. Claudette Calvin. In 1955, she was arrested for refusing to give up her bus seat to a white woman.
Yeah, she was the first. She was before Rosa
She
Parks.
was before Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because I remember Rosa Parks saying, and this was after she became of age and she was elderly, and she
Mhm.
was at an event, and by this time, she was in a wheelchair, and I can't remember where the event where we were, but it was at maybe the Fox or something like that, and it might have been a Black History event, and so the media, they were all over her, and they were giving all these accolades to her, and she wasn't on the program, but they were bringing her in, and I just happened to be standing there, and she she said, wow, she's like, I wasn't the first. She just kind of just said it. I don't know if anybody really heard her, but
Mhm.
she was here and I was here, and she just like she's like all this, and I really wasn't the first, and I said, wow, and and a lot of people attributed to of her position in the NAACP,
Mhm.
how that she was the prime candidate because she was at the end,
Mm.
which sparked the whole movement,
Yeah.
officially, I would say, with
Yeah.
Rosa Parks. But that's something there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I've heard that she
just the
said that
thought
more than
of
once.
someone telling you to get up. I've seen various news clippings of people being on planes and Caucasians saying, "Well, how are you up here in first class?" And it's just
I paid for my
interesting. Interesting. How about that? I paid for it. I paid for that. Yeah. So these are just some Black History trivia that we wanted to share with you today,
Mhm.
and I don't know where to start. Oh, let's go to this first.
Uh-oh.
So when I came home today, and I just put the television on just to have some noise in the house, and what came on was Archie Bunker, um, All in the Family. And
Mm.
for those of you who may not know, Archie Bunker was a character that Carol O'Connor played. And
Mhm.
Archie Bunker was a racist. And the particular show that was on today was about Richard Nixon.
Hmm.
And he was defending the antics of Richard Nixon and his son-in-law, who character was Mike Steuben or
Mhm.
something. He
Mhm.
was saying he's he's not a president for the people, and he does not like the people. He has caused the things in water in Vietnam, and he lists a couple of things, I guess, that the president was doing during that time that just did not benefit people of color, and
Yeah.
even just the world. And I said, how ironic that that would be on today. And I'm thinking about President Trump and how many people were defending him, of saying that he was the man for the job and how he is going to make America great again and whatever it is that they say about this man. And I said, wow, it's just something how history just repeated itself.
Yes. Yes.
Like in our lifetime.
Yes. And just think this is what I'm just gonna say what I know of because that
Hmm.
wasn't my lifetime. You have Hitler,
Hitler.
you have, even though that era, Nixon era, was not as bad as the Hitler era,
Right.
still, but now you have this era.
Hmm.
And what's that old saying? If you don't know your history, you'll tend to
You're,
repeat it.
you're bound to repeat it.
You're bound to repeat it.
Bound to repeat it.
Because you don't know, you don't
You don't
understand,
know.
and we don't do the storytelling like we used to.
Hmm.
We don't want to talk about our history. They don't want us to talk about it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. It was
It
in the
was
past.
then. Get over it.
Yep, get over it. But no, no. Yeah. So it's
Hmm.
sad. It can be unnerving, but you know what? Hey,
Hey, and
you gotta do what you
as
do.
you were talking about the school, and I was thinking, how people now, or how younger adults, early, late teens, 18, 19 to 20, well, maybe 25, they just don't have the concept or the importance of what was done. And I don't think that they have the wherewithal to really research themselves, as a people.
As a people.
And I know that they're familiar with slavery because people talk about that.
Right.
But the Black people before slavery, and then the strides that were made, like Harriet Tubman, to get people out of slavery, and maybe all of these distractions that they encounter, these PS5s and social media. Maybe if they had to pick up a book,
yes,
and read, and just look and study and discover, maybe we wouldn't act as we do so often. Just with our language in public, and how we
treat each other.
yes,
The disrespect,
the disrespect
for ourselves and for each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, whew, yeah.
It's a shake your head moment.
Struggle that you have not a clue about. Was that English right? You don't have a clue.
You don't have a clue.
You don't have a clue. And just because and I tell people all the time, just because you feel like you can live anywhere you want to live,
mm-hmm.
you can go to any school you want to go to. But now that they've taken all this stuff over, this affirmative action and DEI, and that's not just about us. That we're really on the low spectrum on that one. That's about a whole lot more than just us. Mm-hmm. But we take it for granted what we can do now.
Yes.
And we don't realize, and these young people, and I'm gonna say from 30 something on down, because I know my son is 30s, early 30s.
Okay.
And so don't understand the struggle, don't understand the fight that has to go on, don't understand you have to work harder than the others.
Counterpart. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to play the game, even though you don't feel like playing the game. Sometimes you got to play the game. Sometimes to move forward, we might be going back to the only school we're going to be able to get into is a HBCU.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? Because now they don't want you. And so it's sad that, like you said, the focus and how they've distracted us with so many different things.
So many
different things, and not taking care of, because a lot of these, and not all of them, but a lot of the young they don't know the struggle.
No.
Even as adulthood, they don't know the struggle.
They don't know.
All they want to do is have a baby. Get hair and nails done.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Buy a pocketbook. And buy a
pocketbook. And for the fellas, those gym shoes. And the hats.
And the hats, yes. And so the struggle. If we knew the selling power that we have, the buying power that we have, if we all just stopped.
Yes.
Going to certain stores, certain places, the buying power that we have, we don't realize the power that we really do have. We don't.
No, we don't.
And I watched Malcolm X the other day, with Denzel and Angela Bassett. And just thinking, who could get up and do we have anybody that could get up and lead like that? Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all of those. Do we have people that actually could be that type of leader?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's selfless.
Yes, it is.
Selfless.
So, and just to put their families in harm's way, and just to know, or to have a thought that their life would be taken away for the cause of the people.
Yes. Yes. To have that understanding
to have that understanding
and keep moving and
and
keep
keep
moving.
moving.
Keep doing what you're supposed to be
Hmm.
doing. Mm-mm.
Unreal.
Yes.
So the latest executive, or I said all that about the television show, and the latest with the executive order, the president has given 2 years. If you're on in public housing, effective now to 2027, you have 2 years to get your life together. Did you read that? Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
I
I'm not.
saw that earlier this morning.
So that means what? So that means because all this stuff is easy to say, but that
Hmm.
means what are you getting ready to do? You getting ready to bring all these jobs back to America, to the U.S. of A. That you sent overseas? What are you about to do to help those people get back on their feet?
Get on track.
What are you getting ready to do?
Hmm.
Because as it stands now, I know part of it is that he think a lot of these people getting ready to go back into the field. So you sending the immigrants back home,
Back
and
home.
now who do you expect to work the farms and all those type of
Exactly.
things, do the housekeeping, is that what you quote unquote call a black job?
Right.
So, and it's not just gonna be black; it's gonna be a whole.
Everybody.
It's
That's
gonna be.
not that.
It's not just blacks, and so we have to realize that.
Hmm.
And so, is that what you're thinking, or you gonna bring some jobs back here? What are you gonna do?
Unreal.
So you
And
just hammering and don't even know what you're building.
what you doing? And when he was talking about it, and he was saying, you, people have made a lifetime out of this, and generations have lived in public housing, and which is true, and
True.
and
True.
there is some truth to what he is saying that has made some people a little laxed, that may could have, you know, did a little pushing themselves, yes, but I would think over the whole spectrum, and not just black people,
Right.
not just black people, but we're going to do away with it. 2 years, fight or flight. A mother, a single mother that may have more than one child, and possibly could be working,
Yeah. But just not making enough to
just not
support.
making enough.
So that means salaries have to go up.
Mm-hmm.
That's so that if that's the case, then that parent can pay rent and feed her children,
Feed her children
or his children. So, like I said, what changes are you gonna make
to
so that
accommodate.
if they go to work, they can live.
They
And
can
I
live.
think we gotta get to the point where we're gonna have generational housing again, where generations are living in the same house again.
Yes.
2, 3, 4 generations,
Hmm.
um, because people are not going to be able to make it on their own.
No, they're not.
They're
No, they're
not going
not.
to.
Even as I went to the grocery store, first time probably all year, sad to say, maybe the first time in the last 3 to 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there, and I went, this was the day of the ice storm. Now I
Mm-hmm.
waited till the storm began to go get some food in the house. Crazy. As the church people say, pray my strength. When I walked into the store, Joanne, everybody looked at me. They said,
Why are you here?
"Why are you here?" I was the only one in the store, and all of the workers were just giving me the look like, "Really?" And I went down the aisle, and it was in the breakfast aisle where they have the sausages and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And it was a pack of sausage, beef sausage, and it was $18.
Uh-uh.
I think it might have been like 5 or 6 in the pack. Now, as a single man with no dependents, $18 I still think was a lot. But when you think about when I go out to eat,
Right.
I might
I
spend $18. And the only reason why I went there to the store is because I said, whenever you buy food out, unless you're at a restaurant that you know of, It can be good, it can be bad.
Right.
But I said for a family, mom, dad, couple kids, I said, what? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then right across the aisle, I'd never seen this, and it may have existed for a minute. I'm just not aware of it. It was a whole roll of those noodles, um,
The ramen noodles.
ramen noodles, from top to bottom. Half of that row. I just happened to glance, all various flavors. I said, "Oh my lord, this this is," and that was the only thing that I saw that was affordable
Junk.
for a
And
family.
junk. It really is junk.
And it's junk.
It's junk. It's so much sodium. So it's, oh my goodness. And that's why, it's stuff like that. That's why, but people have to buy what they can afford. But that's
Yes.
why high blood pressure is younger and younger. Now you got kids with high blood pressure.
Kids.
Now you got, and it's like, oh mercy, because that stuff is junk.
It's junk. It's junk. But I was telling a friend of mine, and they were so like, oh, I cannot believe it. I get anxiety and this and that and da 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 da. And I say, yeah, I can understand if you do. And then their response to me was, how come you're not like that? And I said to them, I said, you know why I probably look at everything so different than most is because growing up in the Seventh Day Adventist Church, they talked about this.
Yeah,
They
that's true.
they grew. We just grew up with all of these scenarios of what could possibly happen at at the end of time, and people. It was so much that they were teaching us,
Right, right.
and I said I think that's probably what has kept me not losing it,
Mm-hmm.
because even the Pathfinders, when at that time we would when we would go on those hunting trips, Lord, hunting, what did that?
I know what well, other people
You
not gonna know.
can't.
I know
You know what I'm saying. We would go on the little
camping trip.
trips. Would be camping. That's it, camping trips. And
Mm-hmm.
your uncle, Brother Talbot, Brother Hare, Sister Handy, Sister Hurley. Who else
Wow.
was
Memory.
one of the supervisors? And they would take us and show us from the earth what we could take and
eat.
make and eat. I remember that to this day. I still remember that one plant. I don't remember the name of it, but it had the white flowery top. And they said, you could turn this into pancake batter with some water. And they did a demonstration. And I'm probably not getting it all correct because that was a while back. But I remember them saying that this is what could happen and how we would have to maybe resort to warming food or being
Teach
able
you how to build a fire.
survive.
Remember how,
Yes.
and cooking underground. Remember the
Cook-
cast iron pots and stuff.
Yes.
Make that fire and put the food in and put it underground and cover it up with the dirt and cooking. Man, I'm telling you.
Isn't that something? That is
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
Now, before we go to the next topic, before we're out of time, I remember at Davidson Junior Academy, and we were, and this was not Black History Month, and my teacher was Miss Galloway. So she was Stephanie Galloway. Yeah, she was right out of college, and so she was. I would assume she was right from the Black Power movement. And if I can find that picture, I'm gonna post it. And she put on the bulletin board in a heart, "Black is beautiful,"
Mm-hmm.
and that stayed up there. I think maybe that entire year, for us to look and to realize the importance of who we were.
Yes.
I think she could have only been like 23, 25 or something.
I remember when she came to Davidson. Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yes, that is something.
Mm-hmm. Black
So,
power.
Black Power.
That's when I got in trouble. I got in trouble because I had a free Angela Davis sticker on my book bag. And they
What?
came to my house and said and told my parents, she can't have that sticker. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't have that sticker. Free Angela Davis. They made me take that sticker off my bag.
No. They said, girl, we gonna free you.
I'll never forget that. Never forget that.
Amazing.
Mm-mm.
Amazing. So I was watching on social media, and I came across this video. Christian Smith, he was being interviewed by Pastor Jamal Bryant, and Christian Smith is also a pastor. And the conversation came up about Christian Smith having his own podcast. And he says, well, you know, when ministers come to my church and they want to tune into my podcast, he said, I forewarned them because look, Joanne, at the screen.
I was a rebel. I used to always get in trouble, Miss Cher. I'm telling you, I sure was. Was mad because I couldn't wear afro. Because I made my mother put all these rollers in my head so I can have my afro. I really was a rebel though, because I was always in trouble. But it wasn't trouble like because I was always standing up for the cause.
For the cause.
Standing up for people and stuff.
I know. Isn't that something? Unreal. So he said, well, you know, on my podcast, you know, I cuss. He said, I smoke weed and I drink, and they discuss the Bible. Now, when I looked at it, I think I'm a liberal guy. I think I am.
Mm-hmm.
When I see things that's going on now, I say maybe I'm not as liberal as I think I am. I don't know, and you can go to YouTube. I was trying to bring it up, but I didn't have a converter on this particular laptop, so to air the video. But you can go to YouTube, put in Christian Smith, Jamal Bryant, and you can see it for yourself. I don't know what to say. I was trying to find the podcast but I didn't get a chance to really see anything to see him in action.
Yeah, I quickly listened to because it was only like 8 minutes or something,
right?
And then he came back trying to correct because he must have got slammed. It sounds like he was slammed because now he came back trying to correct what he said, because when he said, if you want a Ouija board, get a Christian Ouija board. Well, there is no Christian Ouija board.
Yes, I forgot about that part.
If you want to, and I'm like, man, what are you talking about?
Ouija board.
And he came back saying, no, then you want to play a Christian game, or you want to, and I'm like, you messed up. You messed up, and just say that you messed up. But he did come back trying to correct what he said. But you said what you said.
I was floored with that one.
You said what you said. Yeah.
A Christian
cognac,
Ouija board.
Some Christian. I mean, it was like, no.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I don't want to say that he's a false prophet because I don't know that to be true.
No, yeah.
But I don't know if that is the image that you would want to portray to people. Because now the reality is, in your home, you might do all of those things. And in your home, not because you're hiding it, but just because it's just not for everybody to see.
Right.
But to be public and say that this is what we do on the podcast, and then we're discussing the scripture, I was, I was taken with it. I would love to interview him. Maybe we can get him on the show. See what see what he has to say. Um, I don't know. What do you think, Joanne?
I and that's where I go back to. We have become so self-absorbed and casual with God. This is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That yes, God does say, come as you are.
Yes.
But that's come with all your baggage, come with all your stuff, come with whatever it is. If you're a drug addict, if you're a prostitute, if you're whatever it is that your struggle is, come.
Come.
As you learn of me, things are gonna change. Things
Yes.
should change. But our we come to God with disrespect.
Mm-hmm. I
This is
believe
how
that.
I am. This is how you take me. This is, hey, you say come as I am. I'm coming
Here
as
I
I
am.
am. Here I am. So hey, accept the way I am. But that's not what that's not what he means. And that's not, and so we try to justify, we try to um we're trying to get certain people into church, we're trying to appease certain people. And so that's why I say we've become so casual with God that
Mhm.
we don't have that respect. We don't have that fear of God. And it's not the fear of I'm scared, it's the fear of respect.
Yes.
And so we don't have that anymore. So yep. So he probably, I don't know him, so I can't judge him. I don't know him.
Right.
But
But
it's what you see that's going on in the world today.
in the world today.
In the world today.
And that is almost, in my mind, as close to saying, well, let's open up a smoking section in church
Right,
or
right.
in the building somewhere. Or, I don't know. I mean, because I don't know where
And
it
it
would
used to be
stop.
that way. I've gone in churches and I've sung at churches, but that was before smoking was banned in buildings and stuff. But I remember going to churches where they had a smoking section in the basement of the church.
You know what? Now after you
I
said
remember
that,
those. I remember those
when
days.
I first started playing in churches, now that you brought that up, I do remember that.
Hmm.
You're right.
And someone was down there, they taking their little sip and smoking.
And smoke. So, oh, and
Everybody's journey is different. I do understand that, but the journey that we're supposed to take, the ending is not that we stay on that road and stay
right.
in that journey. You know what I'm saying? That
Mhm.
things should change, and we need to get back to respecting who God is,
Who God
respecting who
is.
Jesus is, and yeah, he does want us, and I can't say it enough. He does want us to come as we are. He wants us to come with that baggage
Yes.
so that he can change, and so we
And
can
learn of
start
him.
dropping that baggage, and we can put
Yes.
that baggage away and learn who he truly is and who he truly wants us to be. Not this is who I am and you take me the way I am.
And I'm gonna be this way.
Yeah, no, that's the wrong mindset, wrong
Yeah.
attitude.
And he was strong and confident
Yeah,
in his talking with him.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
could tell Jamal Brown was taken back.
Because you can see how he was looking at him
He was
like,
looking. Now I said if he was taken back and all the stuff he's been involved in, it's something.
yeah,
And he's 40 years old, and so the age demographic may have something to do with that.
it might.
It
And
might.
that's that self. Like I said, I'm not putting everybody in the category, but that is what you see is that self-centered, selfish. It's all about what I want,
Mm-hmm.
how I want it, when I want it. Attitude that I see that's going on. I mean, you see it. You see it every day. You see it
Every
in
day.
driving. People driving. You see it. It's just selfishness. It's just self-centeredness and that lack of love and that lack of caring for each other.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Sad. It's really sad.
When I was, and I think maybe all young people experience this, if you've grown up in church. And when you get to a certain age, you're like, oh, I'm not going, and I'm gonna do my little thing. And at that point in time, when I was experiencing that, I had just started playing for this choir, this church, and it was a whole bunch of young people. It was a youth choir, so probably the oldest person in the choir was me. And I'm thinking I might have been like 25, 26, somewhere in there, or maybe a little younger. Yeah, probably a little younger, maybe 21, 22. And that was, I would say, my heyday of being freed from all of the upbringing in the church. However, when I was around those kids, teenagers, I never presented myself in that way. I still had respect for their parents, of having them in church and having them in a productive part of the church, which is the choir, to teach and to do whatever it is that I was doing. But I never had that whatever I was doing, I never let that spill over in front of them.
Right.
Because they were young and they were impressionable. And let me say, I wasn't doing nothing. I just wasn't really into going to church.
Right. But that just shows that you have respect for others.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have respect for yourself and you have respect for others. And that's what's missing today, is that we don't have the respect for others. We don't have that, because it is a mindset of do what I want to do.
Do what I want to do.
I should be able to do what I want to do. And that's not even practical in life, period.
No.
You know, nobody can just, I mean, you can, but you better be ready for consequences.
For the consequence.
And you see it, people want to do what they want to do, but then when the consequences hit, because they don't think down the road, they just think of self-gratification right now.
Right now.
So when you don't think down the road, and then now you're in trouble. Now you want to holler and scream for everybody and la da 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 da.
Help me.
But you didn't think. So
you didn't
think about others. You didn't think. Yeah. So that's the respect that you had and have for yourself, for others, for other parents of their children. You know, that to me is what's lacking today.
It is lacking.
Because it doesn't mean that everybody. It doesn't mean that you're perfect. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect.
Right.
Yeah, we might be striving to do what's right and striving, but we all fall. We all make mistakes. We all, but I'm not just, my mindset is not just
whatever.
That's who I am. You just take me the way I am and deal with it.
I went to, this is a couple of years ago, and a friend's mother had made her transition. And so I went by to see the friend. And so, you know, people were at the house, and I saw a popular minister that was there. And she was I don't know if she still is on, but she was on social media at that time, and big following. And I just walked in the house. She's sitting on the sofa. Now, she don't know me from nobody. And not that I am somebody, but I am, but not like she don't have to be herself. Joanne, she had that paper, that blunt. She was rolling it, and she was putting it in there. And I was just so taken. And she was like, "What up? I'm so-and-so and so-and-so." I said, "Hey," I gave a fictitious name. I said, "Hi, I'm Alex." That's my food order name. I use my middle name. I'm like, "Hey, I'm Alex." Because I don't even want you to go back.
Thank you.
I met Rufus, and we just had us a good old time. No, we did not.
Don't be putting me in that.
And I'm not knocking what she was doing. I just was so taken that she was just doing it just openly,
Just nonchalantly, like,
nonchalant, and people
hey,
are coming in and out of the house.
hey.
That's just where we are at this point in time. Anyway,
Mercy.
um, let me give the latest score.
Uh-oh.
Okay, right now the Chiefs 0, the Eagles 24.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What ending? Is that an
Now,
ending? What
what
is
quarter was
of
this?
course, look at me. I don't
Yeah,
even
I was gonna let that slide, Joanne. When Justin go back and see this, he gonna
Justin,
be
I
like,
didn't say that. Don't be talking about me.
he's like those two by themselves.
He gonna be just shaking his head like,
Shaking
oh,
his head. You know, all the training I tried to get him. Second quarter.
second, okay.
Oh,
Second.
the score just changed 0-24. So can the Chiefs realistically come back from that? Do you know?
Because a touchdown is what, 7 points?
I
Is that right?
believe so. Now, don't get me to saying nothing
Wow.
like that.
Good. And then they get
Pam,
for
Pam,
and you
how
help
many
us
points you get for touchdown?
and don't they get points for like what do they call it?
Being on certain yard lines too, I
Yeah,
believe.
don't they get points for that? Or
I believe they do. Well,
we are no good. They wouldn't be
especially
hiring us for no sports show.
no, they were like, y'all keep to the human interests. We'll take Justin.
Oh
Especially
my
we thinking the
goodness.
Super Bowl started at 8 p.m.
I know it.
and it came on at 6:30.
Oh my goodness.
But nonetheless, now I did have this question, and we're gonna have to probably pick this up next week because
Mhm.
I was reading about Mark Williams, he is the basketball player for the LA Lakers, and apparently he and LeBron James, if I have the right player, were really, or he was under the impression, Mark Williams, that they were very good friends.
Hmm.
Well, he got traded. And
Okay.
so he was just so shocked about it. And he said, I just don't understand why LeBron didn't say something to me because and he made the point that anything that goes on with the team, the administration runs it by LeBron, to keep him in the loop of what's going on. And I guess that they would do that since that he is considered, the star athlete. Is he the captain of the team? Do you know?
Are
Okay,
you
that's all right.
are you really asking me that question?
I'm,
I'm sorry. Like, what you think is on this line?
well, and I don't know either.
I don't know.
But
I know the
he must
name.
be something. So it's going to be interesting to find out what the real deal of that is.
Yeah.
Now, before we go, Joanne, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to talk about this: the gospel celebrities and their makeup. Now, I saw one of the members of this popular group, and she attended a live recording for Diedrich Haddon.
Okay.
Now, when on stage, she's giving you the razzle dazzle and all of that. She and other group members, but she was at
Mm-hmm.
this other gospel event, and she literally looked as if she had just got out of bed. And I said, how can you be glamorous over here and then scare us over here? Now, you may not have to be all glammed up
Right. All
at
the
this event, but I mean, she was unrecognizable until they pointed her out and said who it was. And I looked, I
Wow.
said,
Wow.
maybe she forgot about the record and just came as
But
she
they both were gospel events.
yes. Hmm.
Hmm.
I said,
Interesting.
I know we don't have TMZ here, but if they had called her TMZ, they would have roasted her.
Wow.
looked completely different. And maybe that was her. Maybe that was her goal. But that couldn't have been because they knew who she was.
Okay.
But everybody really
Hmm.
took a gasp. They were like, and then after
And
they
it was
caught,
noticeable like that how people took. How people,
yes,
wow. Wow.
you got to be consistent. And I'm not talking about this no just overnight group. I mean, she's been they've been singing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I would say in the last 10, 15 years, they've become almost like gospel superstars.
Okay.
So, that look to what they present on stage, it was completely different.
Well,
Now,
like you said, you don't have to have the glam look all the time. But if
right,
you
not all the time.
present yourself, though, if you're,
You
I mean,
know,
I'm just going by what you're saying because I don't know, but at least, but present yourself, and that to me, that's the only issue I have with some makeup because, or
so
when it gets to
drastic.
the point that you don't even look like yourself, and some of it's glamorous, and I think a lot of it is beautiful,
Yes.
but when you do so much that you don't even look like yourself, that's and so maybe she toned it down, and it was like, whoa.
I mean, she
Yeah, I
was.
don't know.
Now you know how girls say, I like the natural look. She was natural, out of bed look, and just flopped that hat on and put on the coat because she never took off her coat, and she was just sitting there, just sitting right there next to people. Because I think if the people had known who she was before they announced her, they probably would have been taking pictures and all that. But nonetheless,
Maybe she didn't have time. Maybe her glam
that's what I
squad.
said. Maybe she forgot that it was the recording.
Maybe she wasn't planning on going, or she knew she wasn't performing, and so she was like, okay, let me just go hang out.
And
And
she was what? I finally figured out why Kirk Franklin looks so different.
why?
He has hair here now. Because he didn't always have hair here. It was it 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 was what it was, but it's different now. And I kept looking, I was like, why does he look so different?
I
He
haven't
has a
seen him.
hairline.
Okay, I haven't seen him lately.
Yeah, he has a hairline. So if you go back and look at the CD cover of Why We Sing,
Uh-huh.
pull that up, and then just look at anything that's recent. You will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah, I said, oh, because I just couldn't put my finger on it. I said, man, he looks so different. And it wasn't because he was looking older or
Okay.
like he had any constructive surgery, but that hair is something else.
Yeah.
You know that as being a stylist,
Yeah.
that hair can change like makeup. It can change your entire look.
Entire look. Yes, it can.
It
Yes.
definitely can. It definitely can. Now, did you ever have a chance to see him before when he was playing at what is the Ford? Is it Durandal Ford at his church when he used to play there?
No, yes, Durando is who you're talking about, but no, no, I haven't had a chance to see him
You
there.
never saw him. Of course, I didn't either. But I said, I wonder if Joanne ever had a chance to see him in
No,
Texas.
no,
Did you live in Texas for a while? Oh, you never
no.
lived in Texas.
I
Okay,
never lived in Texas. No, no.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking that you might have lived in. I don't know where I got that. I thought you were living in Texas. I sound like the
no.
lady now from last week in the aneurysm. So,
Wow.
yeah, interesting. So it's 8-19. Oh, I looked back at the score, 0-24. I don't think they can rebound from that. 0? That's embarrassing.
So that means they need at least 3 touchdowns and a what is that? What is that they do? The field is a field goal or
Field
the
goal.
ball, and they get points there too. So they need at
Mhm.
least 3 touchdowns and a And this is only the second quarter?
Oh, now we're just at halftime.
Oh, at halftime.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're at halftime.
Okay, I don't know. I don't
Just
know.
going into halftime. Well, maybe we'll get to see after the end of the show. Can go see if we see Lil Wayne and his protesters outside the stadium, because he said he was going to boycott. Since
Really?
yeah, because they didn't ask him to do halftime, and he's from Louisiana. He said he bringing his peeps, and they gonna show the NFL what they think about.
His homeboy that he should have been on half.
He should have been there.
Because he's the homeboy.
We are so interesting.
I don't know what to say.
Oh my Lord, so interesting. Well, Joanne, it's been a great show.
Yes, yes.
And I guess the guys over there are filling up on seconds. What they got?
I hear him.
I hear him too.
Can you hear him?
I hear the cheers. Wait, before what they had to eat over there? Because I got enough time to get over there.
Yes, you do. All kind of pizzas and chicken and fish and salads and drinks and chips and just food.
Just food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good that they have something to come together and to fellowship. It really is. Yeah. Well, Joanne, you have a great week.
You too. Yeah.
And we thank everybody for chiming in with us. And if you're watching us later on, thank you for that. And we really appreciate you spending your Sunday evening with talking to Joanne Tosin, Justin Hearn, and yours truly, Rufus Bill. Have a great week and have a great evening. And thank you for joining us today. We really
Black History 24/7, 365.
There it is right there. Have a great one, everybody.